Hey guys, and welcome back. So today we are going to be doing a almost full face of on sale products at ULTA. So I believe I picked up everything but a face powder and eyebrow product. So I went ahead and did my eyebrows, moisturized, primed my skin because they didn't have any of that either, at least not when I ordered these products. So let's jump right into the video. So I figured we could go ahead and start with the base first. And what I picked up was the Ulta Beauty HD Full Coverage Liquid Foundation. And this is originally $14 and I got it for $5. I'm hoping I picked up the right shade. I'm not very good at shade matching on mine, but we'll give it a gander. So it has a squeezy tube and it comes with a pump. So that's always nice. I'm just going to pump it here on my hand. So not runny, not thick. So that's always good. I think I'm going to do one side with a brush and the other side with a sponge just to see how it applies. Some foundations I do prefer with a sponge, and then others I prefer with a brush. Be a little off in shade, but it doesn't look like it's covering much, so it probably is the sponge soaking up all the product. I'm going to switch over to a brush and see how that does. It's a very yellowy. The shade I got was I'm not quite sure, light cool, but it seems to have, or it seems to be really, I don't know, yellow for something that's supposed to be more cool toned. Now I'm just taking it on my Morphe Y6. So far I'm getting better coverage with the brush than I am the sponge, but it's leaving it awfully streaky, so I think I'm going to apply it all over my face with a brush and then go back over and smooth out the lines with the makeup sponge. Definitely going to have to drag it down my neck. I've already gone in with about 3 full pumps and I still have, oh sorry if I blinded you, and I still have a little bit more to cover. So it's 1 fluid ounce, which is your standard, but I can only imagine you would go through that pretty fast considering how many full pumps I've had to do already. And I believe this was the lightest shade, or close to the lightest. I'm usually the lightest or close to in just about every brand. So now I'm just going back in with my sponge, and I will get a little bit closer so you can really see how it's sitting on my skin. So far I'm not liking it one bit. I do have dry skin, but I don't feel like it's really clinging to any dry patches or anything like that. But it just looks like it's sitting on top of my skin, and you can tell that I'm wearing foundation, so that's not always something I look for in foundations, but yeah, definitely not going to be something I reach for. So this is what it's looking like so far, and I don't know, I'm not a big fan of how it's sitting on my skin. I'm not a big fan of how many pumps I've had to do just to get it to this coverage. I mean, it's not full coverage, but I mean, I still see some freckles here peeking through, so hopefully I can cover up some of this. And it's already getting into some of my fine lines here, which just about every foundation does, but this is doing it a lot faster than my other ones. So this is definitely going to be a no for me, for sure. So I have this Lorac Perfection Concealer. It says it's full coverage. I got in the shade PC2 Light. And this is originally $24 and I got it for $17.40. I don't think I've ever tried any of Lorac products, so hopefully this will be better than the foundation. But that's what that looks like. It has one of those little squeezy out thingy. Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see that. So it must have separated. Sounds very liquidy. So I'm just going to give it a shake here. And I mean, a little bit of the like water liquid came out with it. But that's what that looks like. So the foundation was a little bit more, I don't know if you can really tell, a little bit more orangey, where this is a little bit more yellow. So I'm interested to see how this looks under my eyes. So I'm just going to take that same sponge. Definitely not the kind of color I would go for, but we're gonna make it work. Can't always judge something if the color's wrong. Kind of just gotta judge it if the product itself is good. Okay, so this is the concealer close up and blended. I still see some of my pores coming through here. I even used a little bit of a pore filling primer. So that's not really doing too good of a job. Everything always creases under my eyes, so I never deduct points for that because that just naturally happens to me. But I mean, it did cover up for the most part some of my freckles, so the coverage is decent on this, but as far as the color is way off. I don't think I would be able to use this even with a different foundation. It's just way too yellow for me. So that's that. So I'm going to go off camera, set my concealer, and set my face. Although this feels like it's dried down pretty nicely, so I probably won't have to set everywhere, but you know, here where I'm going to go over it with some contour and whatnot. So that's a good thing about that, is I don't have to, you know, put thousands of layers of powder on top. But yeah, so I'm going to go do that off camera and I will be right back. Alright, so moving on, I have this Beauty by Pop Sugar Trio Time Face. Comes in this really pretty box. And this is originally $34 and I got it for $20.40. And it pretty much comes with a bronzer, a blush that I just dug my nail in, and a highlighter. I will swatch this and probably apply it to one side of my face because I do have another highlighter. But yeah, I just thought this was pretty interesting having, you know, it's a little bulky, but in the long run, if you wanted to travel with it, you know, pretty much have everything here, so you wouldn't have to, you know, pack extra. So let's get this on my face. What am I looking for? My brush. Okay, so dipping into the bronzer. That's what it looks like. It looks like it might have a looks like it's going to have a sheen to it. I don't know if it's going to be super glittery or if it's just a nice little sheen, but I would probably use this more than, you know, more as a topper to my bronzer. Just because I'm not a big fan of like super shimmery bronzers, but it could make a really nice topper. And there, I don't know if you'll be able to see it yet. There's some kick up in the, I mean, it completely coated. So it's really pigmented. Don't want to go overboard. And they had two different shades. They had like a lighter one and a darker one. So that's always a good thing. sometimes I find that universal things aren't necessarily universal, especially for someone who, you know, has a lighter skin tone than I, you know, as light of a skin tone as I do. So, looks like it's not going on as crazy as I thought. It's blending out nicely. Has a nice undertone to it. That's that right there. Not patchy. I was scared that it might be too pigmented for, you know, initial go in, but I find that I can build it up, and it doesn't look like I have glitter all over my face. Oh, it's been a long day. Yeah, I quite like that. Sorry, the lighting through is going crazy. But, oh, goodness. But yeah, that's what, I mean, I really do like that really do like that bronzer. So, I'm just going to put a little bit here, and I'll do a little bit of a close-up so you guys can see what it looks like. I don't know how well it's going to pick up on camera, but it's right there. I really do enjoy it. It's a really nice bronzer for my skin tone, and it doesn't show up super, you know, glittery or shimmery or anything like that. So I do like that, and hopefully the blush and the highlighter in this are just as good, because it would be great to just take this little compact here for whenever I do travel. So yeah. Alright, so moving on to the blush. Really light. Same thing with the bronzer. It does look like it has a bit of a shimmer to it. But I did have to build it up, which I'm not mad about blushes being super pigmented off the bat, considering I can go a little heavy-handed with blush and, you know, look like a clown. So I don't mind that I would have to build this up. Oh, and it comes with a little mirror too, so that's nice. Didn't even notice that. Let's put some of this on there. I almost dipped it into the highlighter. That wouldn't have been good. It's a really nice, like, peachy pink, not too, like, hot pink, not too dark. Buildable. Definitely my kind of blush. And it does give a little bit of a more of a sheen than the bronzer does, but I'm not mad about that. Now my blushes I don't mind to be, you know, a little shimmery, but this is really nice. I really like this blush. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Blush is always so hard to pick up on camera, but it's really pretty. Alright, so the highlighter in here, like a nice golden light. I don't know why I put it there. Awful swatch. I don't know. Don't ask. Although you might not be able to see it. Yeah, right there. So I'm going to put this on one side of my face because, like I said, I do have another highlighter here. But I thought I would test it out anyways. Oh, I love gold highlighters, but some of them can just be too harsh on me, but I really do like this one. Oh yeah, it's really pretty. I like that. So this is a definite win for me, for sure. Definitely worth it. I think it's a little pricey for $35, you know. it is 3 items. You know, you pay that kind of money for similar products at Sephora. But I got this on sale, so it was totally worth picking this up. So if you are looking for something similar like this or have a similar skin tone to me, definitely check this out. It's worth it. Alright, so moving on to the next highlighter, sticky noted it, is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Crown of My Canopy. If I can get the thing open. So this was originally like $4.99, $5, and I got it for $2.50. And these are very, popular here on YouTube. So, I mean, I was pretty surprised that this was on sale. That light today is just beaming in like nobody's business. But this was the only color that was on sale. The rest of them were normal priced. So the only thing about this is it's a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so that's the only bad thing about it, but I still give it a go. Just take a different highlighting brush, dip into it. I do enjoy Wet n Wild highlighters. They are really nice. But I find that this color is just too dark on my skin tone. So like here you can see that one where it's lighter and more suited for me, whereas this one is just too dark, and it won't really pick up that well. It just looks like I have a weird stripe going down the down the top of my cheekbone. So I think I'm just going to put that other highlighter on top of this one. And then I don't have a new setting spray that was on sale, so I'm going to set with some setting spray, and then we will move on to the eyes. So I picked up this Tarte Flirty in a Hurry eye set. Comes with an eyeshadow palette, a pair of lashes, and eyeliner. This is excuse me, originally $35, and I picked it up for $20, so I thought that was a good steal. I think there was, of course, the Urban Decay original eyeshadow palette, and then they had another one on there as well, but I figured I might as well buy the bundle. And I don't think I've ever tried Tarte eyeshadows. I think I've just mainly tried their blushes. So I went ahead and picked this up because I was curious to give it a go. So these are the colors that come in there. Be a nice, everyday palette. So it looks like you got one to set your eyelid if you have a lighter skin tone, and then you got some nice transitions for the crease, and a nice darker, to build up the outer corner. I think this one might actually be meant to be a highlighter for the face, but of course you could definitely use that for your eyes. So you got 3 shimmery shades here. So I'm going to swatch those, and they're nice and buttery. I do enjoy that. So you got 3 shimmers that you can use, and then you have 5 mattes. So I think I'm just going to use these first 3 here on top. This one to darken the outer corner, and then I will probably go in with Feline here. It's a really nice, pretty, like darkish brown color. That's what that looks like right there. These swatches are awful, I know, I'm so sorry. So I think I'm going to go in with that, and I think I'll put that on the outer closer to the corner, and then maybe go in with this cunning here all over the lid. So that's what that looks like. So going to go off camera, prime my eyelids, and then come back on here. I might work on an eyeshadow look just so we're not here forever. So I think I'm going to play around with this on one eye, and then come back on camera and show you how I did it on the other eye. Okay, so here is a close-up of the eye. I am not a huge fan of this palette. This one goes on really, really dark, and once you start blending it out, it kind of just fades away. I tried packing it on, and the more I packed and tried to blend and work it through, it just kind of faded away. So I'm not a big fan of that. This one, obviously, it's not going to really show up. This one didn't really show up either. This one did do a really good job of blending out. So I just used this one to kind of blow out the edges. This shimmery shade here applied better when it was wet on a brush. This one is full of glitter, so when I applied it, it just fell out. There's a lot of fallout. I tried to sweep some of it away, but it still left some glitters, and I believe it's from this shadow right here, or highlighter, or whatever you want to use it for. So I am not a big fan of this, but I'll go ahead and show you what I did on this eye. I'll show you what I did on this eye to this eye. So I pretty much used the same brush for most of it. So I went in with Roar here at the top. Pretty much just fluffed it all over, to set my lid. Then I went in with Slay, this one, and started to build it up in my crease. But because it's so close to my skin tone that it didn't really build up to anything, and I've tried layering it a couple times, but I think it's just too light to really show up on me. So then I went into Paul. I really do like this shade out of every shade in this palette. I really do enjoy this one the most. So I just took that again on the same brush. I'm using this Alamar fluffy blender brush that I got in a BoxyCharm, and I just took it through that crease, and as you can see, it has instant payoff and pigment. So I pretty much just ran this through the crease like so. And then I just took that Slay one there and buffed out that top line there, just to kind of blow it out so there's not a harsh line. So I did that, and then I took my Morphe M433 brush here and dipped into Wildcat, and I just put it in the outer corner here. I find that I really had to build it up, and once I packed it on and started blending it through, it just started to blend away and lighten up, and it actually looked like it got a little bit, patchy. So I'm definitely not, a big fan of this eyeshadow. And then I just went back in with that initial brush, tapped into that paw color, and blended it out in the crease. Just like that. Pretty easy. I'm just not a big fan of that darker color. Then I just took my Morphe M167 little flat brush and dipped it into Feline, which is that dark shimmery. And then I sprayed it with my spray and packed it on the middle portion toward the outer corner. I didn't take it all the way in. I mean, it's a really pretty shade, but it definitely has to be wet or probably done on the finger to get any type of payoff. And I have a bunch, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a bunch of fallout here from that darker shade. Just take that. Just gonna take my MUA brush and try to fluff away. Yeah, once it's on there, it's on there. And then I dipped in to this Secret here and just packed it there. and on the inner corner. And then I took it on the brow bone as well. So, that's pretty much all I did. And then for the lower lash line, I took this Alamar flat, like definer brush, dipped back into that Wildcat, that darker shade there, and lined the lower lash line really up close to the lashes, to about the middle part of my eye. Blend it out and connect it back up into that same color in the outer corner. And then I just took a little Ecos tool, like accent shadow. I love to use this to blend out shade or colors on the lower lash line. And then I just dipped into that paw and smoked it out. And it's pretty much how I came up with this look. I mean, I like the look I came up with, but I can get it with other palettes that I have that I enjoy, with better quality than some of these in here. So I don't know if I would necessarily buy the kit or not. I mean, it just, to me, I just didn't like it. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you. I know I hear hit and miss things about Tarte shadows. So this wasn't, you know, something that I really enjoyed. So, moving on to the eyeliner. Wherever I put it, here it is. In that same little kit. So that's what the packaging looks like. And that's what the tip looks like. So I'm going to use this to make a wing. Then I'm going to apply the lashes that also came into this set, which look like this. Not normally something I would usually go for. I like them more compacted than, you know, sprayed out like this. But I'm going to do these off camera, come back on, and kind of tell you my experiences with these two, because I can't apply these on camera to save my life. So I'll be right back. Okay, so obviously I don't have the lashes on because I do not like these lashes. I loathe these lashes. The band is too thin. I found it very hard to kind of like mold it onto my eye shape. I didn't like these. I initially liked the eyeliner, the application, or like the tip of it. I do enjoy that. You know, it's nice and thin and precise. It's not too stiff, so I was able to get, you know, a wing with it. However, when it dries down, it doesn't dry matte, which to me it's not a deal breaker, but I just kind of prefer more of a matte eyeliner. And this thing will not last the whole day. With me taking off and trying to apply my eyelash, I mean, it just came right off. I'm sure throughout the day it will smudge, it will smear, it will rub off. So not a big fan of this either. I have this Ulta Beauty Matte Lip Cream in the shade Proper. It looks like this, and it was originally $9 and it was on sale for $3. And if you saw my declutter video, you would know that this was in it. And I've already, you know, obviously I already own it because it's in a previous video. But anyways, I was going to get rid of it, and then I saw that this was on the sales site, and so I kept it just for this video. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of this color. I'm not a big fan of, I cannot talk while I'm putting on lipstick, obviously. So I'm not a big fan of this color. So one of the reasons why I put it in the declutter. But I'm also just not a big fan of lip paints in general, whether it's, you know, Ulta's brand, Tarte's brand, whoever's brand. I'm just something about the formula I'm not too big of a fan. It takes a little bit longer to dry down. It really settles into my fine lines. You know, I have really dry lips, so this kind of formula just doesn't really do it for me. I do like their lip oils and some other lip products that Ulta has with their own line. But as far as this I'm just not a big fan of. I'm going to do a little recap of everything that I had. So this Tarte kit, definitely a pass for me. I don't recommend it. It's just the formula wasn't great on the eyeshadows. I hate the band on the eyelashes, and I don't like the way that the liquid lipstick dried down. So definitely going to pass on this. Of course, the lipstick, just not a big fan of the color nor the formula of it. The highlighter, I do love their other highlighter colors. It's just this one is just too dark for my skin tone. So that's really the only reason I'm not a big fan of this, is just because it doesn't suit my skin tone. But I do recommend these if you haven't tried them. You can find them at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, you know, places like that. And they're just a couple bucks, well worth your money. So definitely check these out if you haven't. But like I said, this one just doesn't suit my skin tone, or skin type, or no, I had it right, my skin tone. So let's see. The Lorac concealer, I mean, as far as the formula, I liked it. I mean, it did cover up, you know, a decent amount, had a nice coverage on it. I don't really see it did do anything for my pores, and the shade is just way wrong. I wouldn't use this. It's too yellow for my skin tone, so that's really the only reason why I didn't really care for this. If I can find it in another shade, then I'll try this out. But again, it just didn't suit my skin tone. How many times am I going to say skin tone? It just didn't suit me, so I'm going to have to pass on this. Whoops. And then the foundation, didn't like it, don't like it, don't like how it's sitting on my skin, don't like the shade of it. I think it's way too like orangey on me. I just don't like it. It just doesn't sit well. It's sitting on top of my skin, already sinking into my fine lines. So yeah, just a big no on this one. And for the little trio, which is really the only thing out of this purchase that I actually did enjoy, is this. So I do recommend this. I know it's a little bit pricey, but I honestly think it's worth your money, and I'm going to be reaching for these more and playing around with them more, and definitely checking into what else this brand offers. Guys, if you like this kind of video, make sure you like it and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell while you're down there so you're notified every time I upload a video. And yeah, just leave down in the comments down below if this is something you guys enjoy. You know, I can get on ULTA, or not ULTA, I can get on Sephora and, you know, other places and test out. I love doing testing videos, so if that's something you guys like, just let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, so until next time, see ya!